Good, good, hello. Good evening, room 207 families. How are you doing? Rossi here in my lap. He's a little frisky. He might not stay, and today I'm going to read you chapter 24 with Rossi. Let's get a better picture of Rossi. There he is in my lap. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and ask questions as we read, just like we did the last chapter. When you ask questions as you read, you think about what's going on in the text that you want to know answers to, and you think about, there, that's better, things that maybe you'll find the answers to, and maybe you won't find the answers to, and maybe it's something you'll have to look up later. But the whole point is that you're asking yourself those questions as you read, okay? Right? And you're making those visualizations in your mind as you're asking those questions. All right? Rossi, you ready? Here we go. Chapter 24. The next day, we dropped my mom off at her part-time waitress job. Before she got out of the car, she looked at my dad and said, "We have to apply for assistance, Tom." And here you can ask, what does the mom mean by assistance? What does she mean by applying for assistance? "We'll be back on our feet before they deal with all the paperwork," he said. "Still. Plus, we probably make too much money to qualify for help." Oh, so assistance means help. Help from who? "Still." They look at each other for a few long seconds. Finally, my dad nodded. We went to an office called Social Services to find out about help. My dad filled out lots of forms while Robin and I sat on hard orange chairs. Then we went to 3 hardware stores where my dad put in applications for work. My dad grumbled about all the gas we used up. Oh. Okay, there we go. Now you can see yourself. To cheer him up, I said maybe we could feed the car water instead. He laughed a little then. "Not having enough work is tough work," my dad told my mom when she joined us in the car after her shift. He took a deep breath and blew it out hard, like he was facing a birthday cake with too many candles. "Dad," I said, "I'm kind of hungry." "Me too, buddy," he said. "Me too." Okay, now I want you to try and ask a question. All right? Okay, I'm going to keep reading now. "I almost forgot," my mom said, reaching into her tote bag. "I grabbed some bagels that the chef was about to throw out." She pulled out a white paper sack. "They're pretty stale, though. And they're pumpernickel." What's pumpernickel? "Well, that's a start," my dad said. He stared out the window. After a moment, he clapped his hands. "Okay, let's get this show on the road. Guess I can't stall any longer." Not stay, stall. My mom touched his shoulder. "Are you sure about this, Tom?" she asked. "I get my paycheck tomorrow. We could go to the food pantry or the shelter." "Nope, I got this," he smiled. But it didn't look like a real smile to me. I'd rather do a little performing than stand in another endless line at some office waiting for a handout. We drove to the back of the restaurant. My dad found a nice clean box in the dumpster. "Are you making the begging sign?" I asked him. He'd been talking about it off and on with my mom since our money was stolen. "Given that I'll be singing for our supper," he said, as he tore the box into pieces. "I prefer to call it request for gratuities." "What's a gratuity?" I asked. Maybe you're asking that question too. See, Rossi's over there where I usually read. He's trying to tell me something's wrong here. We're supposed to be reading from over there by my dresser. "A tip, money you give someone like a waiter." My mom said, "When we were young, your dad and I used to be street performers before we had regular gigs. Lots of musicians do that." "I've got this down to a science," said my dad. "First off, you need a cardboard sign. Then you need a busy intersection. The best corners have long stoplights. It might not hurt to take Aretha, my mom said. People love dogs, I told my dad. I bet you'll make a lot more money with a dog. Can I borrow a marker, Jackson? My dad asked. I handed him my blue marker. That guy on the corner by Target, he has a puppy. My dad studied a cardboard rectangle. No prop puppies. Write God bless at least, my mom said. Everybody writes God bless. Nope. As it happens, I have no idea what God is up to. My mom sighed. My dad scribbled something on the cardboard, like he was in a hurry to be somewhere else. He held up the sign and asked what we thought. I didn't answer right away. In second grade, my dad got a D in penmanship, which is how you make your letters. He did not improve with age. What's it say? I asked. Remember, he's in first grade still, so he can't read very well. Thank you. Looks a lot like thank you. He shrugged. Even better. And that's end of chapter 24. Rossi abandoned me. You have a good rest of your evening, and remember, I want you to ask questions while you read next time you read your independent work in your independent reading. And when you ask your questions, you think about questions you either want answers to right away, or sometimes questions you have about a text that you might have to look up, or something that you might find out later on in the text. And the important thing is that you're asking those questions and you're thinking as you're reading. Okay, have a good rest of your day.